friends. Today is Friday the 29th of January. I'm Kathleen and this is Kathleen's Trodden Trail, coming to you on a very cold, dreary January day in eastern Nebraska. It's been quite a while since I've done a video. We've had family and kids and their friends and kids without their friends and in-laws and all kinds of people in and out of the house through the holidays. I think the last time I posted was just before Thanksgiving, and so we've sort of had a little bubble of our own 3 children, my daughter's husband, and then a couple of friends that of the kids that we knew were quarantining as well, or being fairly safe, at least not going out to clubs and all of that kind of stuff. Baxter wants to say hi. He of course wants to know who I'm talking to. And so they have been in and out since about the 20th of November, and they're finally all gone. But today is Maddie, our youngest, Madeline Elise. It's her 21st birthday. So I am celebrating her birthday. She's up in Sioux Falls. She'll be home tomorrow to celebrate with us, but she wanted to celebrate the day with her friends. They are not going out to clubs or bars or anything like that. They are, they did go out to dinner, or they're getting ready to go out to dinner, and then they're celebrating at their house. So in honor of her 21st birthday, I'm doing a flash tube video and having a glass of wine. It is surprisingly unsettling to me to have a 21-year-old, to have my youngest be 21, because obviously Ryan and Caitlin both have turned 21, but it is a very, very strange feeling, and yeah, rather unsettling and kind of weird, but time marches on, and right across my face apparently, and so what are we gonna do? So we keep doing our thing, and I've kind of realized in the last year that it's very important for parents, I think probably mamas in particular, to have something of their own that's separate from their kiddos and their husband, that they can have when their children go off to school, or not off to school, but leave and go to college, university, get jobs, have their own houses, all of that kind of stuff. Because when you've spent, I've been raising children for the better part of the last 29 years. When you've spent that much time raising children or raising a family, and for the most part putting other people first, right? And then suddenly they're gone, and you of course you never stop worrying about them, but it is it's kind of a shock to the system, I guess, is the best way to say it. And so I am so grateful that I have stitching and rug hooking, but more than just the actual art or craft of pulling the needle or the hook, I'm so grateful for the friends that I've made through, due to stitching and rug hooking and quilting and all of those kinds of things, and the tribe of people that I have as a result of those shared common interests, because I would be mighty lonely. I would be mighty lonely here by my lonesome without the kids and Brian. And Brian's busy. This is his busy time of year with work and then coaching basketball. So he's gone, most nights and a lot of the time on the weekend this time of year. So anyway, there's really not much of a life update other than Caitlin and Caleb are safely in Puerto Rico. Ryan is back in Virginia at school doing his student teaching right now remotely, and hoping that they'll go, live at some point when it's safe to do so. But he's teaching, doing his student teaching band, and in a high school setting, working with the high school band director. And so he's loving it, absolutely. He's called several times this week just to tell us funny stories, and he's loving it. And Maddie's back up at Augustana in Sioux Falls, taking a J-term class right now, and then regular spring semester starts up next Wednesday, and so she'll be home tomorrow to celebrate her birthday with us for a couple days, and then she'll be back up, and I don't know when we might see her again. So I don't really know where I left off the last time we chatted. I just kind of gathered things that I had on hand. There's tons more. I have, and I'm in a new spot to you. So this is in the front room. Our house is really funky and different, and the front door is here to my right, and the kitchen is here to my left, and I'm looking out the front windows at a very snowy, it didn't snow today, but on Monday into Tuesday we got about 14 inches, and then another half an inch I think on Wednesday, and then tomorrow and Sunday we're supposed to get maybe another 3 inches or so. It's kind of that dreary January time when I'm ready for spring, but you know, I still love the snow, and it was fun to get. We had the biggest snowstorm we've had since 1975 in Omaha, and outside of Omaha. So anyway, I did do some really fun things after being inspired by Cynthia Brew, Stitching in the Light. I made some snowmen patterns, I bought some patterns on Etsy and made some snowmen, and they turned out super, super cute. But I will take pictures of them and insert those here. Rather than get them down. There's one, I don't know. I'm going to see if you can see it up there. The first one that I made is up there for, I'm sorry. For Christmas, Ryan got me an antique artist box. There you can see that snowman and the light and the star. And so I did a little vignette with the snowmen, and then I made I think 3 more snowmen and had them in another room. And so my whole house is decorated with a lot of snowmen right now, or snowy things, and then I'm starting to add Valentine's stitching and different Valentine's things in as well. So I'm going to I had a bunch of finishes in November and December, and they've been gifted and they're gone and they're off, but I've had a few things that I finished just this month, and the first one was from this pattern that Colleen sent me, just for nothing, just because she's Colleen and she's super sweet. I got this in the mail from her one day, and so it's Kind Words by Not Forgotten Farm, and we both love Not Forgotten Farm. I don't know if you're aware, but Not Forgotten Farm has rug patterns also, and she and I have both done a lot of those rug patterns. But so we both love stitching and rug hooking Not Forgotten Farms. But so I stitched this up I think the very first day that it came, and I finished it off the next day and had it on this little display. I got several of these at Joann's over the holidays. One day Caitlin and I were at Joann's, and I saw them. I got 2 white ones and 2 of the steely blue ones. And I have a different idea for a finish, but it just kind of worked out that I have this sitting up above the piano. And I just think it's so sweet and so appropriate for, times we're living in. And so it just has a little bit of velvet backing. I think I got it from Stephanie at Lindy Stitches. It just matched perfectly with this linen that I had, which was a random piece of linen, and then I used a Victorian motto thread for the words and the stitching, and I think it turned out so cute. So this just sits up by my piano. I also finished. I went through all of my whips. I sorted. So all of my patterns that I have not started, just the charts that I have are organized. They're organized by season, and then the ones that are not seasonal or organized by designer, and they're in an Excel spreadsheet, and they're very, you know, orderly. But my whips have not been traditionally. They've just been in bins, in project bags, in bins, and you know, if I want to find a whip, it's pretty hard to find. I have a lot. I have since put them all in an Excel spreadsheet. I'm not going to tell you how many I have because frankly it's an embarrassment. But although I was watching Lisa Kindred Stitcher the other day, and she had 3 1-hour videos, or close to an hour videos, of all of her whips, and it was very inspiring. And you know, her attitude was kind of like, I'm fine having all these whips, and I stitch what I want when I want, and I'm good with that, and you know, this is my craft, this is my hobby, and I'm not going to feel bad about it. And I really want to have that attitude, and I for the most part I do. But I also know that I have whips, so I unkitted 9 things that I know I'm never going to finish, and I'll give those away, or there were a couple things I just threw away. But for the most part, I put the fabric back in the stash, I put the floss back in the stash, and put the patterns to the side, because I know I'm not going to do those, but I still have an awful lot that I would like to have done. And so as I was going through those, I was trying to pull anything that was very, very close to a finish, and this was one that I started several years ago, and it's Frosty by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle. And I don't love it. This was the very first time. These cardinals are 1/1, and that was the very first time I'd ever done 1/1, and it's not the nicest stitching in the world. There are mistakes. My white threads look really, really bad. Hold on one second. Bindy's over a year old, but she's still a puppy. Oh, by the way, have y'all seen Miss So Grateful? Jaylene's new puppy. Oh my gosh, they have a new, I think she's, I don't know, maybe like 12 or 14 week old English cream golden retriever. So Bindy's dad was an English cream. And so English cream golden retrievers look a lot like Maremmas, which are the dogs that Michelle Rudy has, the white dogs. And English creams, I mean, they look identical to a golden retriever, but they're white. And so that was her dad. So we didn't know, and then her mom was a traditional golden retriever, and so we didn't know how much she would darken up. And she did darken up quite a bit, but she does have quite a bit of light on her. And it's so fun. But anyway, that puppy, oh, but Bindy is being very naughty right now, and I'm just gonna, she has something that I'm not too worried about, so I'm just gonna let her go, although sound-wise, that might be bad. I am going to have to do multiple videos, and so I will mark it at the 15-minute point so that I can do it all as one and then easily cut them up. So anyway, all that was left of this was, I think the T and the Y needed to be stitched, and then a bunch of this vine needed to be stitched, and the snowflakes needed to be put in. And so I did that. I think maybe some of Frosty had to be filled in. And I did that, and then I just turned it into a pillow. And when I was ironing it, because I had painted on my ironing board before I set up a painting station in my craft room, I had gotten a little dab of black paint on my ironing board and didn't realize it, and it got on here. And so I tried to get it off. I tried several different things, and I actually originally put a pin there, and so that kind of hides this. That kind of looks cute because it almost looks like a cane for him, and it hides that little spot. So anyway, I used that same blue velvet on the back, but this was all I had left, so I added some fabric to it from Lady Dot Creates, and a little bit of cross-stitching fabric, linen or even weave, I think, and stitched that on the back, and there you go. So that's Frosty. Okay, so I'm at 15 minutes. I'm gonna not really cut it here, but when you see the video, it will be cut here, and then I'm gonna go on to actually my whips.